Sure. Okay. Well, I'm so excited. You gotta come in. First timers. Yeah. So this is Autumn Rush. She is under Becca, who's in her beautiful outfit back there. Autumn is going to be sharing with us tonight her health testimony as well as her daughter. And I'm just going to hand it right over to you. Okay. Make sure you stay in the lane. Well, hello, I'm Autumn, and I have been using Plexus products for coming up on 2 years, I think, in the spring. And I came to Plexus just at the end of my rope. I had been eating healthy, working out, trying to take good care of myself. We were talking about gardening, I forage, I ferment things, I do all the healthy, fun, weird stuff, but I had hit a plateau in my health, and I wasn't able to lose the extra weight that I needed to lose, and I had joint inflammation and just like super zonked tired in the afternoons, just typical American stuff or living on this planet stuff. And I just thought, I've tried everything, so I'm gonna bite the bullets. I'm stay-at-home mom, married to a teacher, so I was like, this is gonna be an investment. I'm gonna have to move some things around financially, but I'm gonna do this. So I had seen Becca, and she was so perky on the Facebook there, and I was like, well, I know her. We had connected through church and through adoption. So I said, well, I'm gonna just reach out to her. And she got me started and everything. And I remember the first 3 weeks, I had some detox, and I was about ready to be like, this is getting worse before it gets better, I guess. And she said, just stick with it, just stick with it. And so I pushed through, and I'm so glad I did, because I started to see the energy come to me, and then things too that I didn't realize I was struggling with, like just not being able to sleep very well, but always feeling tired. And the joint inflammation went away, and the skin rash went away. And what I was doing was able to continue with my exercises and continue with, just trying to, Plexus doesn't fix everything. It's a supplement to help you, to kind of a catalyst for the other things that you need to happen in your life. So yeah, just everything started to come together. I was just reading recently. I have these little blessings books, these little tiny composition books that I've been writing down my blessings, just little things. And I remember looking in there about the time that I started Plexus. So I think it was like April, and then May, June of that year, a couple of years ago, it said something like, got up early this Saturday. What's that all about? Must be this Plexus thing. Because, Saturday I didn't have to get up, I didn't have to homeschool, I didn't have to, do all the stuff. So I was just used to like staying in bed as long as I possibly could. So yeah, so that's my story. And that kind of leads into the story of my daughter. Her picture's over there. Her little testimony that she wrote up is behind the flower there next to the welcome sign. But so I had been on Plexus for about a year, and this time last year, my daughter Eden was about 17, 18 years old. And for years, she had struggled with anxiety, and it was sliding really rapidly into depression. And she, we homeschool, we have a good relationship, but it was just, she was volatile. She was self-harming. I mean, it was just, I was trying to homeschool her and her little brother at the same time, who's 12. And it was so bad that, I was like, had to get her up in the morning. Like, come on, get dressed. Okay, come on, it's time to eat. Okay, come on, we're gonna journal. We're gonna read to you. We're gonna go outside. We're gonna go for a walk. I was just trying to do all the things. I was trying to connect her. She had the word. She had community. She had family. She knew she was loved, but she just was in this deep, dark pit. And I was sleeping in her room for about 3 months just for fear of what she might do if I took my eyes off of her. So it was just it was like, if I knew at the beginning of last year what that whole year would entail, I don't know if I would have shown up for it, because it was just so hard. And I felt so desperate as a mom, because she's beautiful and she's perfect and God has a plan for her, and she just couldn't see it. The depression was so clouding everything. And so that brought me to the point where Eden took all of my time, and I couldn't homeschool Richard, my son, anymore. It was like having him in a psychiatric hospital with me all day long. It wasn't fair to him. He's an energetic 12-year-old little boy. And so I had to put him in school, and I wanted to put him in a private Christian school, and I couldn't afford it. So I was looking for a part-time job, and I applied to like Aldi and all the places that were like hiring, and nobody was hiring me. That was God, because God, you ask him to open the doors he wants to open and close the doors he wants to close. So that's when I saw Becca posted about being in Disney World or somewhere, or Disneyland or something with Plexus, and right? Yes. And I was like, just started that, I think. And she said, so I said, okay, I'm going to talk to her about, because it seems like I could kind of do that on my own hours, and I wouldn't have to go and clock in somewhere. And, my main priority is to be a mom. I still obviously have to be here for my daughter. So Becca said, well, introduce you to Kayleen and let's go to Panera. So I met them at Panera, and I was talking to both of them and just kind of asking them questions. Like, I have no idea how to do what you do or how to make money with it or what all entails. I don't know about computers or technology or internet or whatever that you would need to do. Yes. And they were like, yes, you can do this. We will help you. And then Kayleen started to share her story of coming to Plexus for depression and anxiety issues. And I was like, wait a minute, what? And she started to explain the connection between gut health and mental health. And it was like a mix of emotions. I was so elated that there was some hope, new hope for my daughter. But at the same time, I was so angry that nobody had told me that. I had been in the emergency room with her. I had been to psychiatric offices with her. I had been sleeping in her room for 3 months. I mean, with pediatricians and prescribers, and just one, she was on the maximum dose of Wellbutrin, and then I gave her a rash, and then she was on Lexapro, and it's just like, and the side effects of these medicines were starting to be worse. They just kind of numbed her, but then the numbing leads to not caring what you do to yourself or how you feel or any motivation for anything. So that's when I decided that gave me a passion to start sharing and to start my own business. And then we started Eden on the triplex, and she just started to kind of brighten. Like, I was weaning her off Lexapro, which when I looked that up online looked to be like a really scary long thing to do. And for her, it just was a beautiful transition. And little by little, it was going, half the dose, and then a quarter, and then every other day, and then every 3 days. And the same with, as that was decreasing, triplex was increasing. And I was just like, is this gonna work, And she just started to be able to go to youth group and get out of the car without shaking and, wanting to go back home. And she started to be able to sleep through the night, which is something she had never been able to do. She started to just be able to get up and get dressed. When she fell into the deep depression last year, this time, she was almost done with school. She had 2.5 credits left. She literally could not read. She could not think to read. So she started to be able to do that. It took her 5 years to graduate high school because of that bout of depression. But anyway, with Plexus, it was like the missing piece. It was a missing piece, and her energy came back. She just was born again. She was just, and actually she got born again December when we took her to David Sight and Sound. She said, I can't believe God loves me. Like, I mean, like, but because when you're like in such a depression, like you just can't think straight. And so yeah, since we started her on triplex, we've added in X Factor Plus because we're pretty sure she has that MTHFR gene mutation and she needed to get the nutrient. She was so skinny during her bout with anxiety and depression. And then we've also added in the Vital Biome. So it's just been incredible. Like even today, there's her youth group that she goes to last night, and she was talking to me today before she went to work. And she said, Mom, I like purposely talk to people. Like I went up to them and I was like, I'm gonna say so. I like your shoes, where'd you get those? And she's like, we talked for like probably 4 to 5.5 minutes. Good for you, but that stuff was unthinkable with the social anxiety and the depression and overthinking everything, the mind just racing. So yeah, so I could talk about what I came to Plexus for. I feel like it's kind of boring, but this is so typical. But when I think about what this did for my daughter, I could just go on and on, because when something comes in and affects your child or something benefits your child, you're just forever grateful, forever grateful. So that is mine and Eden's Plexus testimonies. Yeah, it's you.
I'm with Carrie and said, look, I called my parents on the way here, prayer, all the good things. Like, my mom's like, film it. I'm like, really?
I can film it if you want.
I can put my glasses on.
This is the lane. Okay.
You're in the lane.
It's probably right. Just right.
Yes, they're awesome.
This is that.
So this is Christy, and she is under Carrie, who is under Becca. And I'm just so excited for her to share the beauty of what really has impacted her life with Plexus as far as the business and what has come with that. So
Thank you.
Yes.
All right, I'm just gonna take a deep breath if that's okay with y'all, but people that know me well know I'm a chatty Kathy, but standing in front of other people, it's like, let's take a moment, collect myself. So thank you so much first and foremost for letting me share today. And there's so many different layers to my Plexus story, but I really want to just highlight what's brought me to use the products and what's brought me into the opportunity. So like Kaylee mentioned, I got started with Plexus under Carrie. I've known Carrie for about 15 years now. And I was at a point in my life where I had just had 3 boys in 5.5 years. I've had my own health issues that I've struggled with in my adult life, mental health, autoimmune, PCOS. So I was at the point where I was seeing Carrie share about Plexus, and at one point I did have to snooze her. It was just, she was so passionate. You could just see all this love she was showing Plexus. I'm like, I'm just, it's a timing thing, right? You hear that about so many things in our lives. It's God's timing. It's when you're ready to see it. So I reached out to her, and Carrie, being the amazing person she is, I had told her, listen, I've heard about Plexus. I've tried this pink drink, it didn't work, but I see what it's done for you. Like, and I have autoimmune issues, like, get me off of this medicine. What do I need to do? So she walked me through the products, what would work best for me. So I've been using the products for almost 2 years. And I can say within the first 30 days of being on Plexus, I saw some of my PCOS symptoms resolved, where I was getting regular cycles. My moods were starting to be more stable. And I was working in healthcare at the time. And a lot of people told me, you're losing weight. And I'm like, no, it's just inflammation, or your face gets slimmer, your clothes start to feel different. And then you're encouraged, like, okay, this is working, because for a lot of my life, being a bigger girl, I've always focused on weight loss. But after having kids in such a short period of time and seeing my health just really go up and down, I knew I needed something different. So thankful for Carrie for that, because, she definitely walked me through what to take. It wasn't like selling me a drink and there you go. So from that point, I'm using the products, I'm seeing some good things. And I remember telling Carrie one day, I think I can do this with you. Like, I don't remember really, there were some conversations we had that, she would share about the business. And I'm like, oh, I'm good working in healthcare, was a PT assistant for almost, she's shaking her head no. Now I totally agree. But definitely, was a PT assistant for almost 14 years. And I really joined the opportunity just to get some extra money in my pocket, with 3 kids. And I was just sharing with people at this table, like I'm in the kitchen now, food costs, all the things, definitely wanted something to help my family. But what I wasn't prepared for, and I'm sorry, I'm an emotional person, so I start to cry, forgive me, Carrie's smiling, she knows me so well. So God's timing really played a huge role in me just with my health, with Plexus. Because 3 weeks before, 3 weeks after I started the opportunity, I was fired from my job. And it was something that gave me peace because I knew at that point, my heart wasn't in what I was doing anymore. After I had my oldest son, who'll be 7 in July, I wanted to be home. And God puts those desires in your heart for a reason, but I stayed in healthcare for as long as I did because of insurance, and I loved serving people. I was getting really good at what I was doing. I had students that I precepted. It was just, I was feeling successful with where I was. But then going into my job and seeing that irreplaceable, I still remember feeling that peace and then, being emotional because of my patient connections, but knowing that was God closing that door for me. It was something that I had prayed about silently for almost 7 years and didn't know how it was going to happen. I was making good money in healthcare, and that happened. And, I remember calling Carrie and I was just like, it's time for me to just go on in with Plexus. And then of course, being at home, transitioning from working out of the home for 14 years, now being home full time, it was definitely a blessing, but it was different because I'd never been home, and it gave me an opportunity to really focus on me and focus on my kids and focus on growing into the person that God has always wanted me to be, but I've never seen that because of being complacent and just serving other people in a different capacity. So Plexus has been a godsend to me for so many reasons, but of course, being home and losing that income, the stress of a one household income really weighs heavy on you. And I've been with my partner now, my boyfriend partner, might as well be like comedy marriage, for 13 years. And, I saw that stress on him and, showing him like, this is something that's going to change our lives. I feel it, like God wouldn't put us in this position if he didn't know that I can do this. So that really started to grow in me, and it's still a part of why I'm in Plexus, is to help financially with my family. And it's just been amazing to grow in a business where I've never seen myself, and never woke up saying I would be in sales one day. I was in healthcare and I was completely comfortable being told what to do with my patients and all those things, but really growing myself as a person, not just a mom. Growing myself as getting healthy mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, being linked with women that I never knew I needed in my life, reconnecting with Carrie, because what I didn't share was when she left Abay Health, we were not in connection for a long period of time, and Plexus brought us back together. And it's funny because I say this a lot to people. When I met Carrie, I was 22 years old, and I remember going home telling Eddie and my mom, this is the girl I want to be like when I'm older. Older, yes. There is a little bit of an age gap between us, but and then, seeing how she helped me with Plexus, because the other thing too with this Pleximony is that I was buying products, but not under her for a while. She was really just interested in helping me. I called her for the cry for help. Like, I need to change something about my health. I'm a bigger girl, but like I've had all these kids, my autoimmune issues crazy. I'm on Remicade, I'm on all these prescriptions. And it was a couple months in where I said, Carrie, how do I get under you? Like, you need to get this credit. You're educating me. You care about my success. It wasn't just selling me something and then just going. And I think that's a misconception with MLMs. A lot of people that have hesitation about being in network marketing, it's because they just sell you something and there you go. But it gave us an opportunity to reconnect as friends. And it's just been, it has been something that I never knew I needed, because what I'm learning is the way you treat yourself is how you treat God. If you don't put yourself first, you're a representation of who God is in your life. And if you're not taking care of yourself, how can you take care of others? And I was living in that status quo for so long, and then becoming a mom and giving myself to them and not really caring about where I was with my health or my life. So this opportunity is somewhere that I never saw myself in, but I'm so glad I'm here. And I keep telling my boyfriend, my goal is to never have to work outside of this house again. I want my kids to know I was here for them, and the change in their behavior now being home full time has just been, it's been a blessing. So Plexus it's not just about your health, it's about growing who you are. It's about growing in who you are so you can be a servant to other people. And it's just been something that I'm very grateful for. And I know it's so funny, Kaylin's like, in 5 to 7 minutes, I'm like, girlfriend, I probably won't even use all that time. But I say all this to say that, you know, if you're someone here that was invited and you're just really not sure of where you are in your life, this is a great place to start looking to see if this is your purpose. Because it's just something that I'm so excited and nervous and scared and anxious for all the beautiful things that's going to be on this journey with me. But it's definitely something that you're here for a reason. The timing is for a reason. And that's something that happened in my life with Plexus, because I had been introduced to it, but it's God's timing. So if you're here, there's a reason you're here. And yeah, I think that's it.
Good. We'll do a halftime show. Dance for us, Capricia.
Okay. Destiny?
Yes. So you can just take the plants that are on your table, and then our last one we'll do at the end, and I have one right here. Here's one. Thank you so much, Christy, for sharing, and there's a couple of things that really I wanted to speak on that she touched on, because what sets apart our Plexus team from other Plexus teams, other MLMs, other businesses, is that we work so hard to serve our people well. And we work so hard to understand what we're doing so that you are successful with your products, in this journey, in personal growth, in coaching, in leading, and all of that comes together, and it's stewardship. And so we're not here because MLM is offering a significant income. That is a piece of the puzzle, but I'm going to touch on this after Becca, but so much of it is because of the impact. And as Christian women, as women who really stand to hold a standard in our life, we don't just want to be flippant with this opportunity of serving people, because there is so much impact that comes with what we do. So go ahead, Becca, I'll go hand it to you, and then I'll be back.
Thank you. Yeah, okay, this is the lane, all right. Awesome. Well, like Kayleen said, I'm Becca, and I have notes because there's some things that I want to say. So as you've heard just from the testimony that Autumn gave, but then also Christy and her testimony about how just the timing of opportunity. And that is the most amazing thing about Plexus, is that it is not just about the supplements. Yes, we do offer health supplements, but we also offer this opportunity. And so I have some facts. I don't know who my facts people, I know one in the room, but, but I brought some facts to you ladies tonight. Did you know that social selling or network marketing is actually one of the fastest growing business models in the world? Okay, so that's crazy to me. That's really crazy to me. But so let's talk traditional jobs, because I came, like these ladies also, I came from a traditional medical background. Typically 30 years plus of service, right? That's normal. Lots of hours away from home. Stress of that home life work balance. Income cap. So no matter how hard you work, no matter how many degrees you have, no matter how diligently you work at your job, there will be a cap, right? So network marketing, what we do is just the ability to be able to condense that 30-year career into 10 years or less. And I'm gonna be honest and tell y'all my age. I'm 40, and so my thought is, so what if it takes me 10 years with Plexus? I will be 50. That's a lot of life left, y'all. That is a lot of life left. So I'm here for that. But also with network marketing, you literally can schedule your own hours, your work hours. You choose who you work with, so who you want to link arms with, who you want to be on your team and build a business with, that is completely up to you. So for me, definitely like-minded women is one of my number one criterias, if you will. There is no income cap with Plexus. The sky literally is the limit. So you can supplement your income just, to pay for groceries for the love or eggs. Or you yeah, thanks. Or you literally can change the trajectory of your life and of your family's life, and not even just your life, but generations. Because what we do is residual income. So we do work now, we influence now, and we continue to get paid, and we continue to get paid, which, I mean, you can't do that in a regular workforce. You just cannot. So another fact, hold on. Did you know that 95% of people who stay in their network marketing business will hit the top of their company within 10 years? And like I said already, even less with Plexus. So Plexus really helps ordinary people, just like me, just like you guys, to be extraordinary. Doesn't require any special skills. I did not have any skills to do this, literally. Really, anyone can do it. You just have to have a willingness to work hard, a willingness to grow, a willingness to just be motivated to change, really. And just, we have a saying, you just be willing to learn as you earn. So why should you share this business opportunity? Because there's women and mamas out there that are praying to be stay-at-home moms, like Christy, like I was. Because there's families that are drowning in debt. There are families that have medical bills, student loans. Because there's single mamas that are unsure how they're going to put food on the table for their babies. Because there's women who feel completely dictated by the clocking in and clocking out. There's families who are dreaming of supporting missionaries, starting orphanages, sowing into ministries that are close to their hearts. And because as Christians, we are called to be the hands and feet of Jesus. So what if Plexus could be that vehicle for you? Those deep down secret dreams of your heart that maybe you've never voiced to anyone. Because let's be real, money does give us options. To do more, to be more, to give more. This is why I was open to change in my life. This is why I decided to do something completely different. And if there's something that's piqued your interest enough to give us your precious time on a Friday night, then I would encourage you, to dig into that and dig into that why. Why are you here? Why are you here? What has you open enough to do something that is a little unconventional? To change things, to change the trajectory. So why should you share the opportunity with others? And my question to you is, why would you not? You just don't know who is literally praying for 7 years for an opportunity that God has literally just put in your lap. So thank you, guys.
I mean, I think we could end the night there. Thanks, Becca. So good. And a lot of what I have on my note in my pocket. It's a little one. But I just wanted to share with y'all a little bit about my business testimony. You heard Autumn's health testimonials with the products. But with the business, where I started with Plexus, I did come for the products. I came for health. We were desperate, obviously with anxiety, depression, and insomnia. A mama of 5, pastor's wife, and if you can just try to put your head around it, pastors' wives really don't have an outlet to ask for help in some ways. And so it was a very lonely, dark season in my life. And I really was at the end of my rope. And I was telling myself at bedtime when I couldn't sleep and I'm tossing and turning is that my family just would be better off without me here. Because they're seeing me suffering, they're seeing me without patience, they're seeing me snippy and that's not the mom that I want to be. And so even I just wanted to run from myself. I wasn't to the point of suicide or hurting myself, but it was really a hopeless state. And at that time we were renting a home. It was 3 times too small for us. It had snakes in the basement, mice upstairs, crickets in the fall. We didn't sleep in the fall. And it was hell on earth for me. And so there was no options of leaving. And so that also led to my depression. And my mother-in-law must have sensed something was off. It was a really good liar, pastors' wives are. But she sent me to a pastors' wives conference and they did a session on depression. And I had every single red flag. And I cried completely through the whole thing. I was like, Lord, you have to show me a way. And I tried medication. It didn't jive with my body. I didn't want it anyway. And he just put Plexus on my heart. My friend had reached out to me numerous times. I'm like, I don't want none of that stuff. But desperation made me willing. And financially, we couldn't afford it. But my husband just said, let's just try it and we'll figure it out. And so that's what we did. And a few weeks in, started to notice energy. That was life. To be able to want to get out of bed in the morning was a big deal. To notice that my cravings were starting to go away. I was a sugar addict. If I had tea in the house, soda in the house, sweets in the house, I was always munching on them and drinking it. I started to not have any desire for it. And I was like, this is not normal. So whatever this is, it's really cool. And then of course I started sleeping through the night, and that to me was a second chance at life. Because if you're getting rest and you're getting sleep, then you have some sense of normalcy for yourself and your family. And so from there on, it was about month 3 or 4 where I remember laughing with my kids genuinely for the first time. And I don't really have words to express that. I just knew, like, I couldn't keep my mouth shut, because if somebody else is going through this kind of help and I have something that is going to help bring deliverance for them, then this is where I'm meant to be. And I did a lot of refinishing cabinetry work in kitchens. And I had a client who canceled the check on me before I got home. And that was really something that just put me under. I lost my passion for creativity and to even do any kind of work like that outside the home. And so when Plexus came into my life, I just saw all the puzzle pieces come together. And I love transformation, but to see transformation of lives, the Lord knew that's so much better, so much more rewarding, and the impact that comes with this opportunity. So yes, the products, my belief in the products was through the roof at that point. Nobody could keep me quiet, and I puked Plexus on everybody. Just like I do when you first get saved, you just tell everybody about Jesus. So my belief in the products was strong. My belief in the opportunity, I didn't quite trust network marketing. There was a lot of scams out there that we always hear about. But just like you eat at a bad restaurant, it doesn't stop you from eating at other restaurants. There are good restaurants out there. and same with network marketing. And what I found with Plexus is that it was founded in integrity, and we are a debt-free company. The president and CEO are believers, which just, it speaks volumes to me. My first event that I went to was in Mexico. You get an all expense paid trip to Hawaii or Mexico when you become a Plexus Jewel, which also is mind blowing. But they spoke from the stage. Your faith is always first. Your family is always second. This business can be third. And make sure that your priorities are in the right place. I was like, I'm in the right place. This is amazing. And so my belief in network marketing started to grow. I did read books to help me understand how it is supposed to work. So if you're looking for some belief building in that, I can talk to you afterwards. But the last thing that really I want to hit home is what you just heard here. The impact of investing in people. And the return on that is unlike anything else. Seeing people find health is so rewarding. Seeing people come out of financial ruin is so rewarding. But seeing people who don't have belief in themselves or have a past that has brought them down and it has ruined their belief in their value, to see them rise up and to become more self-aware and to step into leadership, there's nothing more rewarding. And what happens when that happens is more lives are touched, and it has a ripple effect. And so what you will begin to see if you step into this opportunity, or if I say when you step into this opportunity, is that those simple conversations that you have with people in your network is impacting lives, and they impact lives, and they impact lives. And there was a moment where Becca and I, we went to our first in-person event. It was right after COVID, but we had our first convention, just a smaller team one. And my upline, Brittany, we did a group picture. And so we all were just shuffling and getting in and getting, and she stepped out and she turned around and she had no words. And I said, Brittany, I will never forget that moment, because that's what I want to live for. I want to be able to step away from a group of people and see the mass of people who have been impacted for years to come. It's not just them, it's their families. It's not just their families. Plexus, when you get paid, if you pass away, it's passed down to your family. It doesn't stop. And so it's a remarkable journey. It's one that leaves me pretty speechless already of the people that I have met that I never even knew, which really is all of you. But it is a gift, and let me look at my paper. Yeah, so what comes with that is impacting lives, impacting ministries. So often, as a pastor's wife, having income or a significant amount of income, people can be like, "Oh, what are you doing with all that money?" And I'll tell you what we're doing. We have a desire to support missions, and there are families in our church that we are able to give more to. And we did buy a house this year, so we're not in a, which is, it was an answer to prayer. And it has been a gift for our sanity. It's been our haven. That was at the top of our list, is that we would have a haven for our family, place that we can call our own. But we love to host. And so we have youth group there, and we have families over and friends over. And so it's all kingdom work. It all just goes back to impacting people's lives. So what you're going to face with this business is it's 80% mindset, 20% skill set. The mindset is the hardest to work through. Skill set can be learned. And if you can learn this and you're willing to work through the mindset struggles, you can be at the top of this company. And I don't want to say this as you want to be a diamond for all the income. You can be a diamond and impact lives. You can reach people that only you can reach. there's only people within your fingertips that you can impact with your story. And so what Plexus does is it gives you a platform. I used to be very shy. I'm an introvert and I could stay home all day long and be happy. But to be able to, I lost my train of thought. To be able to know that the work that I put in to work through my mindset, dealing with rejection, judgment, people making assumptions, like it is so hard. But when I hear Christy and Autumn and Becca and Capricia and Carrie, and you ladies share your stories, it's worth it. And so those days where I don't know if I can do this, remembering the impact that you can have is where it's at. So what you see at the end of the day is that, yes, you start for yourself, but you end when it's really about those that are within your arm's reach. So that is all I have. We'll do one more drawing. Let's